Hi TikTok, it's been a minute since I've posted anything, and I just wanted to give you an update. This video was shot exactly 3 months after Hurricane Helene hit Asheville, and it looks so similar that sometimes it's discouraging. This is Biltmore Avenue on December 27th. That's the McDonald's. They are going to remodel it right down here in Biltmore Village. I'm just going to take you on a little spin, a little loop around Biltmore Village. The most affected areas still look pretty bad. You can see the linemen are still here. They are still working on power in some areas. None of the stores or restaurants in this area are open. Biltmore Estate is open, but as you can see, none of these stores have been able to resume operation. This road is now open to through traffic. They've cleared the debris out enough that you can take a spin through here, but none of the retail spaces are open. There's Catawba Brewing's, one of Catawba Brewing's locations there on the right. And if we turn here and we head up the hill, we will go right past French Broad River Brewing, and then also on the right you can see in this little area right here as we head up toward District Apartments, you can see Edarine Distillery, and they are working on getting both of those cleaned up and resuming operations somewhat normally. Now, if we go and cut through the District Apartment parking lot, we come down here past where there was a coffee shop and a little bike shop. We are going to intersect right here with Thompson Road. And I'm going to go ahead and take a right on Thompson Road and take you down toward Brother Wolf and Asheville Tea and all of that. Thompson Road, there's the dog park that was right across from River Mill Lofts Apartments. It's just gone. It's still gone. Again, we're 91 days in. This is exactly 3 months, and the devastation was so much. This is Swannanoa River right here, and the riverbanks on Swannanoa were green and lush, lots of trees, lots of growth. You couldn't see across the way barely. The cars, they're still here. They're marked. The X means that it was checked for bodies, and because there's no further markings, they did not find anyone deceased in that vehicle. And Thompson Street, runs parallel to Swannanoa River Road, which is the road that we're looking at across Swannanoa River here. And again, it just is still devastated. And this is, for all intents and purposes, downtown Asheville. It's part of Biltmore Village. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull into this parking lot here because they've actually closed Thompson Street again. So we were able to go through. I'm going to go ahead and get out and walk, and I'll take you on a little itty bitty walking tour here. You can see there's the barricade. Apparently there's been more damage to the road, and as it rains and as the weather comes and goes, the roads continue to crumble in certain places because all of the earth underneath it is moving and has shifted. And they're saying this is the second worst geological event in U.S. history, that there were over 2,000 landslides, and that in addition to the flooding, it was a geological event. So you can still see that the cars are stuck in Swannanoa River, the shipping containers. I know it doesn't look like a very big river, but when you see a shipping container in there, you have a better idea. And I'm going to go ahead and get back in the car, and I'm going to drive down Thompson Street back toward Biltmore Avenue, because lots of people have asked me about the old tobacco barn. And there's Rivermill Lofts Apartments, huge apartment complex. It was condemned because the entire first floor and the parking garage was just washed out. If you look over this way, you'll see the old tobacco barn, or where it used to be. WNC tile was washed away, and there has been massive debris cleanup, but it still looks terrible. I heard that the amount of debris that needs to be cleaned up and moved, and the amount that has been cleaned up and moved, is about 4% of what needs to be done. So just a tiny fraction, even though they're taking out literal tons of debris. But as promised, the old tobacco barn is up here. It's going to be on the right, across the river, because it sat on Swannanoa River Road. And if you're not familiar with the old tobacco barn, it was a 77,000 square foot warehouse, and people, you can see the debris being removed there, and people sort of consigned vintage and antique items there, and lots of people loved to shop and to come to Asheville to visit the tobacco barn. You can see the shell of it up here on the right. It's the black building. Once we get past this little bluff here, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But it was completely washed out. And if you can imagine 77,000 square feet of retail space and all of the inventory, because it was packed to the gills. Lots of vendors had little booths there and had space there and would resell vintage and antique items, but everything is gone from that space. Over here, that's where Asheville Mortuary was located, and that building was completely washed away. The mustard-colored building there, that's the paper company. And we are continuing on down to Biltmore Avenue. Again, there's the old tobacco barn, or the shell of the old tobacco barn there, and you can see the river, and you can see how much debris is still left and how much greenery is gone. You couldn't see across here barely because there was so much kudzu and shrubbery and trees, but now it's just a wasteland. And they are not allowing people to drive down Swannanoa River Road over there unless they're in there working. So you will see a car or two, but for the most part, that road remains completely closed. So when we come up here, we've done a loop, and we will come back to the intersection of Thompson Street and Biltmore Avenue, and you can see this area was underwater. If you've seen any of the drone footage, it was underwater up to the restaurant signs. The rooftops were covered and all of this, and you can see the debris in the trees and get an idea of just how high the Swannanoa River, as it was meeting the French Broad River, how high the floodwaters were. That right there is Moe's burrito barn. It's completely hollowed out. They've been removing debris, but it's completely decimated. And then you can see the Japanese restaurant, and you couldn't barely see the Long John Silver sign from the drone footage because the floodwaters were so high. They were above this gas station here, and so you can imagine the chemicals and the waste in the water. It's been terrible, but yeah, 91 days later, that's what Biltmore Village still looks like.